Well, last the day's here. Go and collect our FL5 today. Been a little bit delayed because we were at Autosport all last week, but we're excited, and at least we've got a bit of dry weather today. So yeah, sadly we've been told that there's a bit of an extensive running in period. We've got to do 600 miles before we can go full throttle or hard on the brakes. So that's a little bit disappointing, but I'm sure we'll still enjoy the car. We've luckily been selected to get the car. I think there's only 140 or so coming to the UK, and we've got one of those, and we've got a championship white one, which is even better. So really looking forward to it. Right, we've made it to Holcroft Honda in Stoke on Trent, and here's our car. We're over the moon with it. We can't believe how nice it is in real life. The detail they've gone to on things like the spoiler mounts, the badge, the whole car is just incredible. It's on Michelin Pilot 4S's, which we're looking forward to. I think they should have some quite good grip. The car's actually cost us near enough £47,500, which is obviously a lot more than the FK8, for example, but you can tell just when you're standing by the car that there's a lot more detail and quality that's gone into it. There's also such a short run of these cars. There's only 140 in the UK at the moment, which means that they're a very exclusive car. The interior looks phenomenal as well, and it's obviously got that amazing new car smell. So yeah, we're looking forward to getting on with it. We've got these 600 miles to do before we can actually start driving it fast. But as soon as they're done, we'll be on track in a couple of weeks' time, and we'll be giving you some feedback on that.
So John, what's your first thoughts of driving it?
Well, we've literally done a couple of miles out of the car park, so don't know too much yet, but the brakes are still a bit seized on from being in the showroom all day. Yeah, it feels pretty stiff. Obviously I'm coming from the Taycan and the truck and the Mrs. Tesla, and it's
You're struggling with the manual gearbox?
Not really, but it has been a while. The last manual I drove was probably the FK8, which was amazing. But
what are your first thoughts between the FK8 and the FL5?
Well, the initial thoughts are like the level of detail and the finish is just incredible. The dash is 50% better than the FK8 at least. Like, it's just another step up. Detail on these knobs, details on the actual vents.
Nice straight
steering wheel. The dash feels more like racy. Infotainment looks better, although it's kind of in a bit like the Yaris. It's kind of in view. For a shorter guy, it might hinder some of the view. But yeah, the things like the wing mounts, as Luke pointed out, are just another level of detail. The badges at the back are absolutely amazing. The car on 265 is obviously going to have way more grip. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what it's like once we've got these 600 miles out of the way.
What do you reckon to the digital dash? Because that's cool as.
Yeah, again, it's a bit like the Yaris. It's it's digital, but it looks fairly basic in terms of its styling. Like the Taycan, for example. I don't know.
You've got the shift light as well.
Yeah,
you can't use that.
Yeah, we can't use that yet. I'm going to hopefully go to Cornwall this weekend in it and get the painful 600 miles out of the way at low RPM. So, and then we can obviously hammer it. Hopefully I'll do a few miles down in Cornwall and then we can go lit.
What options? So there's obviously loads of standard equipment. What spec have you? Yeah,
so the buying procedure was pretty intense really. So we obviously we said we wanted a car. We had to notify the dealer of our two colour options. Obviously, Championship White's the go-to colour. it's the original, kind of Honda Type R colour, dating back way, to the EK9, DC2, and that sort of thing. And then, so yeah, we chose white as our first option, red as our second option. After that, it was just Honda optional parts really, which, being in our position, we can source some of the optional parts from elsewhere. So we probably will get more optional parts, but for now we've just got the rear net in the boot. We obviously spec'd the paint up, which was an option. I can't remember the price of the paint, but it was an option. What else? Oh, the illumination pack. Again, that's kind of like a bit of a tricky thing to fit, so it's better to kind of do that at a dealer rather than us buying it aftermarket and fitting it ourselves. But yeah, apart from that, pretty low spec, but it's got everything you need. Modern Hondas are not like the Hondas of yesteryear, where you basically get nothing. We've got wireless charging, we've got air conditioning, cruise control, everything you'd ever want really.
So that's kind of the standard Honda equipment. What do you think we've got planned in the way of the aftermarket for these?
We're not going to go too crazy with it. Obviously, we've got a load of partners that we work with quite closely now, so it wouldn't surprise me that we see a set of Nitrons on here, their road version. We'll probably have a Miltec exhaust. We'll do the brakes in terms of pads and lines. We might do some little bits that come from J's, but yeah, nothing too crazy planned with it. I think with the car being such a limited run, you kind of want to keep it nice and make it all reversible and not put too many miles in the car really. That's not to say we're not going to hammer it around track and things like that, but yeah, we're not going to turn it into a pig.
Thanks, Johnny, Tegiwa, for your time. Back to the studio, Spencer.
Okay, so we've just been driving along. We might as well press a few buttons now. So yeah, we just obviously went into R mode, and the dash is now something else. You know what I was saying about I didn't really like the dash; it was a bit basic. I'll take it all back, and it's now mega. Yeah, it's super racy. Have a look at that.
What does R mode do, John? Do you know?
It stiffens the suspension. I think it sharpens up the revs as well, and obviously changes the dash.
The exhaust maybe?
Maybe, yeah. I'm not too sure. But yeah, we best get out of that because that encourages you to drive like a.
Sorry, Honda.
Oh, we're in comfort now. This is nice. But that's actually changed it. That feels really. Look how wallowy it is now.
It's like a bit punter.
It is.
Okay, so the FL5 is now back at Tegiwa. We've had the car for a few days. It's now Friday. We collected the car on Tuesday, so yeah, we've had a bit of time with the car, and we thought we'd just have a bit of a walk around and have a look at the FL5 in a little bit more detail. So let's start with the styling of the car, because we know that that's what everybody's talking about. Some people love it, some people hate it. A lot of people are comparing it to the FK8, which is, fair enough. That's the FL5's predecessor. But personally, I love the styling of this. I almost feel like someone's got an iron and ironed out an FK8 and all the creases have dropped out. It's a little bit more grown up. And I kind of just feel like all the little bits of flair that it's got, for example, this vent here, it's not like the FK8, it was kind of like, oh, let's do this for the sake of it, but everything seems like fully functional. Like you can actually stick your finger through the vent, so that's sweeping air away from the wheels and stuff, so that's pretty good. There's a fully functioning bonnet vent here, sort of TCR-esque if you like, but yeah, I mean, I absolutely love the look of this thing, and I think once people start lowering it, wider wheels, yeah, they're just going to look absolutely badass. There's just so much detail on this car. It's really intricate. So looking at the front grille, the black just helps break up the championship white paint, and the type in the Type R, that's actually like in the mesh of the grille, which is a really nice touch. Speaking of the paint, we did go for championship white. I think the free colour on this car was the solid red, but being a Type R, you've got to go championship white surely, and that's what we did here. So moving on to the wheels, many of you may have seen, we're big fans of the 265 Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tyres that are now on it. This is possible because we've got a 9.5J wide alloy. They're actually 19 inch rather than 20 inch that we had on the FK8. On the FK8, the wheels were kind of lost in the arches. Yeah, they just didn't look great. And yeah, we've got a wider track now, so yeah, they just look fantastic. They're also 19 inch as well. They just look, yeah, we really like them. The brakes behind them, again, we've got the classic red Brembos. We've got the 2-piece disc behind it. They're the same as the FK8, so yeah, stopping power is going to be pretty good. Moving towards the back of the car, the first thing that stands out is this massive black rear wing. It's almost toned down from the FK8. So the FK8 had a big wing here and it was body coloured. But this has got like the aluminium standoff plates to help rise it up. Yeah, just looks a bit more grown up, a bit more refined. And one cool feature about this wing is that it produces 92 kilograms of downforce at 124 mile an hour over the FK8. So yeah, there's a stat for you. Back of the car, the thing looks great. It's got like shadow chrome badges. That's a really nice touch. And the return of the triple tailpipes. Is anyone actually a fan of triple tailpipes? Don't know what Honda are thinking. They did it on the FK8, they've done it on the FL5. However, it does look better on this car, and I think that's because they put the big pipe in the middle and the two smaller ones either side of it, whereas on the FK it was a small one in the middle and two large ones. But you know, it looks all right, but it's definitely going to look better with twin tailpipes, I think. And this is housed in this massive big gloss back diffuser, and if you look underneath, it's actually like bolted to like the floor pan, so yeah, it's like actual aerodynamics. And yeah, the guys at Honda have obviously thought about this and look super aggressive. Let's go inside the car. So moving into the interior of the car, I think this is where the FL5 has really leveled up its game over the FK8. There's red everywhere, really vivid red. Yeah, it screams Type R. The seats are totally new. They look so comfy. We're going to step inside in a minute, but the seats are amazing. We've got a Type R embossed in the headrest here. The bolsters have actually been chamfered off. One of the common complaints in the FK8 was that the bolsters were too big, so it's quite difficult to get in and out, but these have actually been chamfered off, and they still provide even more grip on the bolsters. I'm going to jump in. I am in. We've got a suede steering wheel here. I think it was leather on the pre-facelift FK8 that we had. Yeah, just a really nice touch and really nice quality. Screen in the middle, and then we've got this like long vent in the middle. Another really cool touch is on the passenger side, there's a plaque here, like a little chrome emblem, and I believe this is the build number of the car, so 1525, you know, pretty cool touch. Again, we've got all the mod cons in here, fast charging, we've got wireless charging. So let's put the car on, and I want to talk about the dashboard to you guys. How do you do it? Oh, what? I've never actually seen this before. The car made like a really cool noise, and there was like a Type R load up screen. Yeah, that's pretty good. And the stop button is glowing at me like, switch me on. So I'm gonna switch it on. Nice dial sweep there, needle sweep even. Cool, so the whole dash like in front of you is totally digital now. Yeah, kind of looked pretty, yeah, it's really smart, but it kind of looks quite boring really until you do this. plus R mode and the dash totally changes. Glimpses of red and just, yeah, really sporty. Also, above the dash, there's some shift lights as well. We've not actually been able to see them working yet. We'll have to keep the car below 4,000 revs for the first 600 miles just to bed the engine in. But yeah, I mean, once that's all done, yeah, I can't wait to see those shift lights going. So I think in the FK2 and the FK8, that also had different driving modes, so comfort and sport and R, I think. Now in the FL5 we've got comfort, we've got sport, and we've also got individual as well. So individual, for the first time ever, it actually allows us to go into the settings and we can in fact change all of the settings, so engine, steering, suspension, sound, rev match, and the instrument cluster. So yeah, that's great, especially on UK roads, so we can have everything like the fastest setting, but we can also soften the dampening to, you know, cater for the UK roads. Pretty cool. Thanks, Honda. One thing that you probably noticed straight away is we've got a good old-fashioned manual gearbox. We've got 3 pedals down here, a lot of hot hatches that are coming out now, 2023. They've all got the flappy paddles, they're all DSG and auto, and it's great to see Honda sticking to a 6-speed manual. This is mated to the big thumping engine in the front, which we'll have a look at now. So let's actually start by talking about this bonnet. This bonnet is actually aluminium this time, rather than steel that was found on the FK8. That helps to shave a little bit of weight, and I think this car is actually lighter than the FK8 as well. As you can see, we've got the return of the K20C1. That was found in the FK2, FK8, and this time the FL5. And we've got plenty of different variations that help make this the most powerful Civic Type R yet. So the FK2 came out of the factory with 306 horsepower. The FK8 came out with 316 horsepower. And we believe this one has got 324 horsepower with 310 foot-pounds of torque. But once it's bedded in, I'm sure we'll get it on the dyno and we'll see what power it's actually making. So there's a few different, you know, things here from the FK8, one of which is the turbo. So there's new propellers, new design that helps it make it a bit more efficient. The inlet plenum as well, that's changed up here. So, you know, we've got a nice, I don't think it's real carbon, but a plasticky like carbon, which is nice with Type R on there. There's a pretty cool like coat on the battery, I like that, it's a nice touch. But yeah, this is, I guess, where the magic happens. So it's front wheel drive, 6-speed manual, yeah, it's good. So you're probably wondering what we've got in store for this car. As we've said previously in this video, we're probably not going to go too crazy. As we've said, there's kind of only, we think, about 140 in the UK at the minute. So we do think every Honda dealer in the country has just got one. So yeah, it's not like everybody's going to be modding the car and going mental. However, saying that, we do have plans for, we're probably going to do an intake test when some come to the market. We'll probably do something like an exhaust test possibly, going to change that. We might look at getting some coilovers, some nitrons, and because we're Tegiwa and we like changing things, and we're alloy wheel shop as well, good plug, we're probably going to change the wheels as well. So let us know in the comments what wheels you'd like to see on our FL5. Yeah, I mean, that pretty much sums up this video. Thank you for watching, and we've got a whole host of content planned with this car. We're going to book a track day in a couple of weeks hopefully, so make sure you like and subscribe to see everything that we get on with.